Have you ever felt like everything is going wrong? Like no matter how hard you try, the universe just isn't on your side. It's a common feeling, isn't it? In moments of struggle, we often wonder, why is this happening to me? What am I doing wrong? Or even, will things ever get better? These questions swirl around our minds, making us feel lost and overwhelmed. But what if I told you that there's a way to find peace, even when nothing seems to go your way? Imagine a time when you faced a setback. Perhaps you lost a job, ended a relationship, or experienced a health issue. Initially, it felt like the end of the world. But with time, you began to see things differently. You found strength you didn't know you had. This is the essence of resilience, a vital skill we can all cultivate. Welcome to Wisdom Woven, where we explore the teachings of Buddhism and how they can help us navigate life's challenges. If you're looking for insights that can transform your perspective and guide you through tough times, you're in the right place. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us spread wisdom and reach more people who might be struggling. In this video, we'll delve into the nature of suffering and the Buddhist principles that can help us find solace amid chaos. By the end, you'll have valuable insights to carry with you, enabling you to face life's challenges with grace. So, stay tuned as we unravel the profound wisdom of Buddhism in overcoming the moments when nothing seems to go your way. The nature of suffering. In life, suffering is something we all experience. It's a universal truth, yet it often feels so personal. But why does suffering exist? According to Buddhism, suffering comes from desire and attachment. We want things to be a certain way, and when they aren't, we feel pain. This is what we call dukkha, a term that means suffering, dissatisfaction, or unease. Understanding this concept is the first step toward finding peace. Think about your daily life. How many times do you feel unhappy because things didn't go as planned? Maybe your friend canceled plans at the last minute, or you didn't get the job you hoped for. In these moments, it's easy to focus on what's wrong. But what if you shifted your focus? Instead of clinging to those disappointments, you could accept them as part of life. Buddha taught that everything is impermanent. This means that nothing lasts forever. Our feelings, our situations, and even our suffering are temporary. By recognizing this, we can learn to let go. When we cling too tightly to our desires, we only create more pain. Imagine holding a heavy stone in your hand. The longer you hold it, the more it hurts. But if you release it, you feel relief. This is similar to how we can handle our suffering. Acceptance is key. Accepting that suffering is a part of life doesn't mean we have to enjoy it. Instead, it allows us to acknowledge our feelings without judgment. It's okay to feel sad or frustrated. Allow yourself to sit with those emotions. When we resist our feelings, they can grow stronger, making it harder to cope. But when we accept them, they lose their power over us. Buddhism encourages us to practice mindfulness. This means paying attention to our thoughts and feelings in the present moment. Instead of getting lost in worries about the past or future, we can ground ourselves in the here and now. Take a moment to breathe deeply. Notice how your body feels. Are you tense? Relax your shoulders. Are your thoughts racing? Focus on your breath. Mindfulness helps us see our suffering clearly and understand its roots. Another important aspect of suffering is the concept of interdependence. We are all connected, and our suffering is often tied to the suffering of others. When we realize that we're not alone in our pain, it can be comforting. Everyone faces challenges. It's part of being human. This connection reminds us to show compassion, not just for others, but for ourselves too. When we understand the nature of suffering, we can begin to find ways to alleviate it. This doesn't mean ignoring our problems. Rather, it means addressing them with a fresh perspective. Instead of asking, "Why me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" Every challenge holds a lesson. When we face difficulties, we have the opportunity to grow stronger and wiser. As we explore our suffering, it's also essential to cultivate gratitude. It's easy to focus on what's wrong, but what about what's going well? Take a moment to reflect on the good things in your life, no matter how small. Maybe it's a warm cup of tea in the morning or a friendly smile from a stranger. Recognizing these moments can help shift our focus and bring us some peace. Buddhist teachings remind us that our suffering can be a source of transformation. When we experience pain, we have the chance to develop resilience. It's in these tough moments that we discover our inner strength. We learn to navigate life's challenges with grace and courage. Letting go of attachment is a gradual process. It doesn't happen overnight. Be patient with yourself. It's okay to take small steps. Each time you notice a feeling of attachment, take a breath and gently remind yourself, "This too shall pass." This simple phrase can be a powerful reminder of the impermanence of all things. Finally, remember that seeking help is not a sign of weakness. Whether through meditation, therapy, or talking to a friend, reaching out can provide support when you need it most. There's strength in vulnerability. Sharing your struggles can lighten your burden and help you see things from a new perspective. In summary, understanding the nature of suffering is a crucial step in finding peace. By accepting that suffering is part of life, practicing mindfulness, and cultivating gratitude, we can transform our experience. Each challenge offers us a chance to learn and grow. The journey may be difficult, but with patience and compassion, we can navigate the storms of life and emerge stronger. Embracing impermanence. Life is always changing. One moment, everything feels stable. The next, it can feel like everything is falling apart. This is what we call impermanence. In Buddhism, impermanence is a central teaching. It reminds us that nothing lasts forever. Joys, sorrows, successes, and failures all come and go. Think about your day-to-day life. Have you noticed how quickly things can shift? Maybe you had a good day at work, but then something unexpected happens, like a flat tire or a disagreement with a friend. At first, it feels overwhelming, but if you pause and reflect, you'll see that this too will pass. Embracing impermanence helps us appreciate the present moment. Instead of clinging to what we have, we learn to accept that change is a natural part of life. Imagine a beautiful flower. It blooms, but eventually, it wilts and fades. Instead of being sad when it's gone, we can cherish the beauty it brought while it lasted. This mindset allows us to find peace even in difficult times. When we understand that nothing is permanent, we can let go of our fears. We worry about losing our jobs, our health, or our loved ones. While these worries are natural, they can consume us if we let them. By accepting impermanence, we recognize that life is unpredictable. This realization frees us from the chains of anxiety, allowing us to live more fully in the present. It's also important to remember that change can bring new opportunities. When something ends, it often opens the door to something new. For example, losing a job might feel like a disaster, but it can also be a chance to explore new passions or careers. Instead of fearing change, we can see it as a chance for growth. Buddhism teaches us to practice mindfulness, which means paying attention to the present moment without judgment. When we're mindful, we can observe our thoughts and feelings without getting swept away by them. This practice helps us accept the transient nature of our experiences. We learn to notice when we feel happy or sad, knowing that these feelings will change. Meditation can be a powerful tool in embracing impermanence. By sitting quietly and focusing on our breath, we can observe the flow of thoughts and emotions. We learn that thoughts come and go, just like the clouds in the sky. They may seem heavy and dark at times, but they always pass. This practice helps us cultivate a sense of calm and clarity. As we learn to embrace impermanence, we also develop compassion for ourselves and others. Everyone experiences change and loss. When we acknowledge our own struggles, we can better understand the struggles of those around us. This connection fosters empathy, allowing us to support one another during tough times. So, how can we start embracing impermanence in our daily lives? Begin by practicing gratitude. Take a moment each day to reflect on what you appreciate. It could be something simple, like a warm cup of tea or a smile from a stranger. By focusing on the good in the present, we train our minds to see beauty amidst the chaos. Another helpful practice is to let go of attachments. This doesn't mean we shouldn't care about things or people. It means recognizing that our happiness shouldn't depend on them. When we attach our worth to external factors, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Instead, cultivate a sense of inner peace that isn't swayed by the ups and downs of life. It's also beneficial to remind ourselves of the cycles of nature. The changing seasons beautifully illustrate impermanence. Spring brings blossoms, summer offers warmth, autumn shows vibrant colors, and winter brings stillness. Each season has its beauty, but they are all temporary. Embracing this cycle can help us appreciate our own experiences. As you navigate life's challenges, remember that impermanence is not something to fear. It's a natural part of existence. By accepting it, you can cultivate resilience and find strength in uncertainty. When nothing seems to go your way, remind yourself that this moment will pass and new opportunities await. In conclusion, embracing impermanence is a powerful way to navigate the ups and downs of life. By understanding that everything is temporary, we can let go of our fears and anxieties. We learn to appreciate the present and find peace amidst change. Remember, just like the seasons, our experiences are always evolving. Embrace this truth, and you'll discover a deeper sense of calm and fulfillment in your journey. Mindfulness in difficult times. When life gets tough, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. We often find ourselves caught in a whirlwind of emotions, stress, frustration, and sadness. But there's a powerful tool we can use to help us through these moments: mindfulness. Mindfulness means being present in the moment, fully aware of what we are feeling and thinking, without judgment. Think of mindfulness like a gentle anchor in a stormy sea. It helps us stay grounded when everything around us feels chaotic. Instead of getting swept away by our thoughts and feelings, we can pause, breathe, and observe what's happening inside us. This simple act can bring clarity and calm. In difficult times, practicing mindfulness can be as simple as focusing on your breath. Take a moment to close your eyes, inhale deeply through your nose, and exhale slowly through your mouth. Feel the air fill your lungs and then release. This exercise helps calm the mind and brings us back to the present. It's a reminder that we are here, right now, despite the turmoil. Mindfulness also allows us to recognize our thoughts without becoming trapped by them. When we're stressed, our minds often race with negative thoughts. We might think, "I'll never get through this," or "Why does this always happen to me?" With mindfulness, we can notice these thoughts without judging ourselves. Instead of reacting, we can acknowledge them and let them pass, just like clouds drifting across the sky. Another aspect of mindfulness is cultivating self-compassion. When we face hardships, we can be our harshest critics. We might think we should be stronger or more resilient. But mindfulness teaches us to treat ourselves with kindness. Imagine talking to a friend who is struggling. You would offer support and understanding, not harsh words. We can learn to give ourselves the same kindness. It's okay to feel lost or unsure. What matters is how we respond to those feelings. During tough times, we can also engage in mindful activities. This can be as simple as taking a walk in nature, savoring a cup of tea, or even washing the dishes. When we do these activities mindfully, we focus on the sensations, the sounds, and the smells. This shifts our attention from our worries to the present moment, creating space for peace and acceptance. Journaling is another effective mindfulness practice. Writing down our thoughts and feelings helps us process what we're experiencing. It's a way to release pent-up emotions and gain insight into our struggles. We can start by writing about how we feel in that moment, without any judgment. This act of reflection can be incredibly healing. In Buddhism, mindfulness is often linked to the concept of impermanence. Everything we experience is temporary, including our pain and suffering. When we recognize that our difficult emotions will pass, it becomes easier to sit with them. We understand that just like the changing seasons, our feelings will change too. This awareness can help us let go of the need to escape our discomfort. Mindfulness also encourages us to cultivate gratitude, even in tough times. This doesn't mean ignoring our pain, but rather finding small moments of joy amidst the struggle. Perhaps it's the warmth of the sun on our skin, the sound of laughter, or a kind word from a friend. Acknowledging these moments can shift our focus and remind us that even in darkness, there is light. When we practice mindfulness regularly, it becomes easier to navigate difficult situations. We learn to respond rather than react. For instance, if we encounter a setback at work, instead of panicking, we can take a moment to breathe and assess the situation calmly. This approach helps us make better decisions and reduces anxiety. Mindfulness can also enhance our relationships. When we are present with others, we listen more attentively and respond with compassion. This fosters deeper connections and allows us to support each other through life's challenges. Instead of getting lost in our worries, we can be there for those we care about, creating a network of support. As we explore mindfulness, it's important to remember that it's a practice. It takes time and patience to develop this skill. Some days will be easier than others, and that's okay. The key is to keep coming back to the present moment, even if we find it difficult. Each time we do, we strengthen our ability to face challenges with grace. Incorporating mindfulness into our daily lives can transform how we deal with difficult times. It gives us tools to navigate our emotions, fostering resilience and clarity. As we practice being present, we learn to embrace life as it is, with all its ups and downs. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, remember the power of mindfulness. Take a deep breath, observe your thoughts and feelings, and approach them with kindness. This simple practice can help you find calm in the storm and remind you that you are not alone on this journey. The power of letting go. In life, we often hold on to things tightly, our hopes, our fears, and even our grudges. But what happens when we cling too tightly? We become stuck, unable to move forward. Letting go is not just about losing something. It's about freeing ourselves. Imagine a balloon filled with air. As long as you hold it tightly, it stays in your hand. But if you release it, the balloon floats away, rising high into the sky. This is what letting go can do for us. Buddhism teaches us that attachment leads to suffering. When we cling to our desires or to the past, we create a heavy burden that weighs us down. Think about a time when you held on to anger or disappointment. How did it feel? Heavy, right? This weight can cloud our minds and prevent us from seeing new opportunities. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or ignoring our feelings. Instead, it means acknowledging them and then allowing ourselves to move on. Imagine a river. The water flows freely, carrying leaves and branches along with it. If something gets stuck, the flow is blocked. Our emotions can be like that. When we hold on to negative feelings, we block our ability to experience joy and peace. One powerful practice is to take a moment to reflect. Sit quietly and think about what you are holding on to. Is it a past failure? A lost opportunity? Maybe it's a relationship that no longer serves you. Acknowledge these feelings. Understand that they are part of your journey, but they do not define you. Next, visualize letting go. Picture yourself standing on a cliff, releasing a stone into the ocean. As the stone sinks, feel the weight lift from your shoulders. This simple visualization can help create a sense of relief. You might find that letting go opens up space for new experiences. Buddhism also emphasizes the importance of impermanence. Everything in life changes. Our emotions, our circumstances, and even our relationships. When we accept this, we can learn to embrace change rather than fear it. Think about the seasons. Each one has its beauty, but they all eventually fade away to make way for the next. Our lives are similar. Embracing change allows us to grow. One effective method to practice letting go is mindfulness. Mindfulness is about being present in the moment without judgment. When we notice our thoughts and feelings without trying to cling to them, we can learn to observe them instead. This practice can be as simple as focusing on your breath. Inhale deeply, hold for a moment, and exhale slowly. As you breathe out, imagine letting go of what no longer serves you. Another approach is to write things down. Grab a piece of paper and jot down what you want to let go of. This act of writing can help clarify your thoughts. Once you're done, consider tearing up the paper or burning it. Symbolically releasing those feelings can bring a sense of closure. It's also helpful to surround yourself with positive influences. Spend time with people who uplift you. Their energy can inspire you to let go of negativity. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. Many others face similar struggles, and sharing your experience can be freeing. Letting go can feel scary. It often involves facing the unknown, but think of it as an opportunity for growth. Just like a caterpillar transforms into a butterfly, letting go can lead to new beginnings. Embrace the possibility of what lies ahead. Trust that life has a way of guiding you. As you practice letting go, be gentle with yourself. Change takes time, and it's okay to feel hesitant. Acknowledge your feelings without judgment. Every small step you take towards release is a victory. In summary, the power of letting go lies in its ability to free us from suffering. By releasing our attachments and embracing impermanence, we can find peace amidst the chaos of life. It's a journey worth taking. Each moment spent in acceptance brings us closer to a more fulfilling life, one where we are open to all that the universe has to offer. So take a deep breath and let go. Your path to freedom awaits. Finding strength in adversity. Life can be tough, can it? Sometimes, it feels like everything is falling apart. But in those moments, we can find a hidden strength within ourselves. This strength is often buried under our worries and fears, waiting to be discovered. When we face challenges, our first reaction might be to feel defeated. We might think, "Why is this happening to me?" Or, "I can't handle this." But what if we shifted our perspective? Instead of seeing adversity as a barrier, we can view it as an opportunity to grow. Buddhism teaches us that suffering is a part of life. It's natural to feel pain and struggle. However, within that struggle lies the chance to learn and become stronger. Imagine a seed that is planted in the ground. It faces darkness, dirt, and pressure as it grows. Yet, with time and perseverance, it breaks through the surface and becomes a beautiful plant. Just like that seed, we too can grow stronger through our hardships. One way to find strength in tough times is by practicing mindfulness. This means being fully present in the moment and acknowledging our feelings without judgment. When we experience anger, sadness, or fear, it's important to recognize these emotions. Instead of pushing them away, we can accept them as part of our journey. This acceptance helps us to feel less overwhelmed and more in control. Another powerful tool is self-compassion. It's easy to be hard on ourselves when things go wrong. We might think, "I should have done better," or "I'm not good enough." But Buddhism encourages us to treat ourselves with kindness, just as we would treat a friend. When we show ourselves compassion, we build resilience. We give ourselves permission to be human, to make mistakes, and to learn from them. Think about a time when you faced a significant challenge. How did you cope? Maybe you talked to a friend, wrote in a journal, or found comfort in nature. These small acts can help us regain our strength. They remind us that we are not alone in our struggles. Many people face similar challenges, and sharing our experiences can lighten our burden. Support from others is also essential. In Buddhism, there's a concept called Sangha, which means community. Surrounding ourselves with supportive people can help us feel stronger. When we share our fears and challenges with others, we often find that they can relate to what we're going through. This connection can be incredibly healing. Moreover, we can draw strength from our past experiences. Reflect on times when you overcame difficulties. What helped you then? What lessons did you learn? By remembering our past successes, we can inspire ourselves to face current challenges with confidence. Each struggle we have faced has equipped us with tools for the future. Buddhism also teaches the idea of impermanence. Nothing lasts forever, including our hardships. Just as a storm eventually passes, so too will our difficulties. This understanding can bring comfort. When we realize that our current struggles are temporary, we can face them with a lighter heart. We begin to see that every challenge is a chance to grow. As we navigate through life's ups and downs, it's important to remember that we have the power to choose our response. We may not be able to control what happens to us, but we can control how we react. By practicing patience and resilience, we can turn our adversities into opportunities for growth. Finding strength in adversity is a journey, not a destination. It requires patience, practice, and self-love. As we learn to embrace our struggles, we cultivate a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. This journey can lead us to a more meaningful and fulfilling life. So, the next time you find yourself in a tough situation, take a moment to breathe. Acknowledge your feelings and remember that you have the strength to overcome. Each challenge is a stepping stone to becoming a stronger version of yourself. Embrace the journey, and know that within you lies the power to rise above any adversity. Compassion for yourself. In life, we often face challenges that make us feel inadequate. When things don't go our way, we can be our own worst critics. It's easy to slip into negative thoughts, thinking we should have done better or been stronger. But what if we approached ourselves with compassion instead of judgment? This is where the practice of self-compassion becomes vital. Self-compassion means treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend. Imagine your best friend is going through a tough time. You would listen to them, offer support, and remind them that it's okay to struggle. Now, think about how you treat yourself in those moments. Do you extend the same kindness? Often, we don't. Instead, we might say things like, "I shouldn't feel this way," or "I must be failing." Buddhism teaches that suffering is a part of life. Instead of resisting it or pushing it away, we can learn to embrace it. Self-compassion allows us to acknowledge our pain without adding extra layers of suffering. When you feel hurt or disappointed, remind yourself that it's okay to feel this way. It's part of being human. Think of a time when you were hard on yourself. Perhaps you made a mistake at work or had a conflict with a friend. How did that affect your mood? Likely, it made things worse. But now, imagine if you had paused, taken a deep breath, and told yourself, "It's all right. Everyone makes mistakes." That small shift in mindset can change everything. When we practice self-compassion, we begin to understand our feelings better. We can recognize that it's normal to have ups and downs. Life isn't always smooth sailing, and that's perfectly okay. This understanding helps us to feel less isolated in our struggles. Self-compassion also encourages us to forgive ourselves. Just as we forgive others for their mistakes, we need to forgive ourselves. Holding on to guilt or shame only weighs us down. Instead, let's learn to release those feelings and move forward. This doesn't mean ignoring our mistakes, but acknowledging them, learning from them, and then letting them go. A helpful practice is to speak to yourself as you would to a dear friend. If you catch yourself in negative self-talk, pause and ask, "What would I say to someone I care about in this situation?" This simple question can guide you to a more compassionate response. Moreover, self-compassion can enhance our resilience. When we are kind to ourselves during tough times, we are more likely to bounce back. Instead of getting stuck in negative feelings, we can recognize our strengths and focus on what we can do to improve. This shift in mindset empowers us to take action rather than wallow in despair. Another key aspect of self-compassion is mindfulness. Being mindful means being aware of our thoughts and feelings without judgment. When you feel pain, try to observe it without labeling it as bad or wrong. Just notice it. This helps create a space where you can be gentle with yourself instead of harsh. In moments of difficulty, remind yourself that you are not alone. Everyone faces challenges and experiences feelings of inadequacy. By connecting with this universal experience, you can foster compassion for yourself and others. When we see that everyone struggles, it becomes easier to let go of self-criticism. Also, consider writing a letter to yourself during a difficult time. Pour out your feelings on paper, then read it back with kindness. Acknowledge your pain and remind yourself that it's okay to struggle. This act can be deeply healing and foster a greater sense of self-compassion. Building self-compassion is a journey. It takes time and practice, but the benefits are profound. You will start to feel lighter, more accepting, and more at peace with yourself. As you cultivate this quality, you'll also find it easier to extend compassion to others. In the face of challenges, remember that self-compassion is a powerful tool. It allows you to navigate tough times with grace and understanding. Instead of being hard on yourself, embrace your humanity. It's okay to be imperfect, just like everyone else. So, the next time you find yourself struggling, take a moment to pause. Breathe deeply and ask yourself how you can show kindness to yourself. What words of comfort would you offer? Let those thoughts guide you, and watch as you transform your experience of suffering into an opportunity for growth and healing. Through self-compassion, we learn to embrace our flaws and celebrate our journey. It's a beautiful path toward inner peace and resilience. With practice, you'll find that you can weather life's storms with a gentle heart and a compassionate spirit. Transforming negative thoughts. Life can often feel heavy with negative thoughts. When things don't go our way, our minds tend to spiral into a cycle of self-doubt and worry. We might think, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never succeed." But what if we could change this inner dialogue? What if we could transform these negative thoughts into something more positive and empowering? First, it's important to understand that thoughts are just that, thoughts. They are not facts. Just because we think something doesn't mean it's true. When a negative thought pops into your mind, take a moment to pause. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me? Is it based on reality? Often, you'll find that these thoughts are exaggerated or unfounded. One powerful technique is to practice mindfulness. When you notice a negative thought, acknowledge it without judgment. Instead of pushing it away, say to yourself, I see you, but you don't define me. This simple act can create a distance between you and your thoughts, allowing you to observe them rather than become consumed by them. Another method is to reframe your thoughts. Instead of saying, I failed at this task, try shifting to, this experience taught me something valuable. By changing the language you use in your mind, you can change the way you feel. This shift can create a sense of empowerment, transforming feelings of defeat into opportunities for growth. Journaling can also be a helpful tool in this process. Write down your negative thoughts and then challenge them. Next to each thought, write a positive counterstatement. For example, if you think, I'll never find a job, counter it with, I have skills and experiences that will lead me to the right opportunity. This practice not only helps to clear your mind, but also reinforces a more positive mindset. Surrounding yourself with positive influences is another effective way to transform negative thoughts. Spend time with people who uplift you and support your growth. Their encouragement can act as a buffer against negativity. Remember, energy is contagious, so choose to be around those who inspire you. Gratitude is also a powerful tool. Each day, take a moment to reflect on what you are grateful for. This simple practice can shift your focus from what's going wrong to what's going right. You might write down 3 things that went well each day. Over time, this practice can help create a more positive outlook on life. Engaging in physical activities can also help clear your mind. Exercise releases endorphins, which are natural mood boosters. Whether it's a walk in nature, yoga, or dancing, moving your body can shift your mental state and provide a fresh perspective. When facing negative thoughts, practicing self-compassion is vital. Treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend. Remind yourself that everyone experiences setbacks and struggles. You are not alone in this. Embracing your imperfections can lead to greater self-acceptance and resilience. Meditation can be an effective way to quiet the mind and gain clarity. By sitting in stillness, you can observe your thoughts without becoming attached to them. Over time, this practice can help you cultivate a peaceful mind, making it easier to navigate negative thoughts when they arise. Remember, transforming negative thoughts is not about eliminating them entirely. It's about creating a healthier relationship with them. Acknowledge their presence, but don't let them dictate your feelings or actions. With practice, you can learn to respond to negative thoughts with understanding and kindness, rather than fear and frustration. In this journey of transformation, patience is key. Change doesn't happen overnight. Be gentle with yourself as you navigate this process. Celebrate small victories along the way. Each time you challenge a negative thought or choose a positive perspective, you're building resilience. As you practice these techniques, you'll likely notice a shift in your overall mindset. Life may still throw challenges your way, but you'll be better equipped to handle them with a positive attitude. You'll learn to see obstacles as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable barriers. Ultimately, transforming negative thoughts is about reclaiming your power. You have the ability to shape your reality through your thoughts. By choosing positivity, you create a foundation for a happier, more fulfilling life. Embrace this journey with an open heart and mind, and watch as your world begins to shift. The role of community support. In life's toughest moments, it's easy to feel isolated and alone. But remember, you don't have to go through it all by yourself. Community support is a powerful resource that can help lift you up when you're feeling down. In Buddhism, the concept of sangha, or community, plays a crucial role in our journey toward peace and understanding. Think about your own life. When challenges arise, who do you turn to? Friends? Family? Maybe a support group? These connections are important. They remind us that we're not alone in our struggles. When we share our burdens, they become lighter. This is the essence of community, coming together to support one another. Imagine a time when you felt overwhelmed by a problem. Perhaps you reached out to a friend or joined a group. Their encouragement and understanding made a difference, didn't it? This simple act of reaching out can open doors to healing and hope. In Buddhism, the idea is that we grow stronger together. Just as a single candle can light up a room, each person adds their light to the collective strength of the community. Support can come in many forms. It might be a listening ear, a shoulder to cry on, or practical help when life feels too heavy. When we surround ourselves with caring people, we create a safe space where we can express our feelings without judgment. This openness is essential for healing. It allows us to explore our emotions and gain new perspectives. Consider joining a local group or even an online community that aligns with your interests or struggles. Whether it's a meditation group, a hobby club, or a support network, being part of something larger than yourself can provide a sense of belonging. It helps you see that others have faced similar challenges and have come out stronger on the other side. In Buddhist teachings, Sangha is not just about physical presence. It also encompasses the idea of shared values and mutual respect. When we connect with others who share our struggles or beliefs, we create a bond that fosters understanding. This connection can inspire us to be more compassionate, not just toward others, but also toward ourselves. Another important aspect of community support is accountability. When we share our goals and aspirations with others, we're more likely to stay committed. Imagine telling a friend about a personal goal. Their encouragement can motivate you to keep pushing forward, even when things get tough. This support system helps us stay focused and resilient. It's also crucial to recognize the diversity within our communities. Each person brings their unique experiences and perspectives. Embracing this diversity can enrich our understanding and help us grow. In a supportive community, we learn from one another. We discover new ways to cope and find strength in shared stories. In difficult times, seek out those who uplift you. Surround yourself with people who inspire you to be your best self. This positive energy is contagious. When we're in an environment filled with encouragement and kindness, it becomes easier to face our challenges. Remember, it's okay to ask for help. Vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. When we open ourselves to support, we allow others to step in and lend a hand. This act of reaching out creates deeper connections and fosters a sense of community. In summary, community support is a vital part of navigating life's difficulties. By embracing the concept of Sangha, we learn that we're not alone in our struggles. Whether it's through friends, family, or support groups, connecting with others can provide the strength and encouragement we need. So, as you move forward, remember the power of community. Seek out connections that uplift you, share your journey with others, and be open to giving and receiving support. Together, we can face life's challenges with greater resilience and grace. Lessons from Buddhist philosophy. When nothing goes your way, it can feel like the world is against you. In moments like these, you may ask yourself, why me? What did I do wrong? Why do I have to suffer? These questions are natural, but they can trap you in a cycle of frustration and despair. Buddhism teaches us that suffering is an unavoidable part of life, but it also offers ways to understand and work with that suffering, rather than being overwhelmed by it. One of the most important lessons in Buddhist philosophy is the concept of dukkha, which is often translated as suffering or unsatisfactoriness. According to the Buddha, suffering is a fundamental part of the human experience. No one can avoid it. It comes in many forms: pain, loss, disappointment, fear, anxiety. This might sound discouraging at first, but understanding this truth is actually the first step toward peace. By accepting that life isn't always smooth, we can stop fighting against the bad moments and start learning from them. Imagine you're holding a hot cup of tea. You know the tea is hot, so you handle it carefully, without burning yourself. Similarly, if you understand that life contains suffering, you can navigate it with more care and awareness. You won't be as surprised when things don't go your way. Instead, you'll be prepared to face challenges, knowing that they're part of life's natural flow. Buddhism also teaches the concept of anicca, or impermanence. Everything in life is constantly changing. Nothing stays the same forever. Your bad days, your struggles, your pain, they will pass. This doesn't mean they aren't important or that you should ignore them, but it does mean that you don't need to hold on to them tightly. When you realize that no moment, whether good or bad, will last forever, you can start to loosen your grip on your suffering. Let's take a simple example. Think about a time when you were upset about something, a fight with a friend, a mistake at work, or a failure of some kind. In the moment, it felt overwhelming, didn't it? But now, looking back, it might not seem so bad. You've moved on. This is the nature of impermanence. The pain you felt back then didn't last, just like the happiness from a joyful moment doesn't last forever either. Understanding impermanence can help you ride the waves of life's ups and downs more easily. Another key lesson from Buddhist philosophy is the idea of non-attachment. We often suffer because we cling to things, whether it's material possessions, people, or even ideas of how life should be. When things don't go according to plan, we feel frustrated because we're attached to a certain outcome. But when we practice letting go, we free ourselves from a lot of unnecessary pain. Non-attachment doesn't mean you stop caring about things. It simply means you stop trying to control everything. Think of it like holding sand in your hand. If you grip it tightly, it slips through your fingers. But if you hold it gently, it stays in your palm. Life is the same way. When you stop trying to control every detail and let things unfold naturally, you'll find more peace. Buddhism also encourages us to look inward. Often, we think that external circumstances are the source of our suffering, our job, our relationships, our finances. But Buddhism teaches that suffering comes from within. It's not the events themselves that cause us pain, but how we react to them. This is where mindfulness comes in. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in each moment, without judgment. It means paying attention to your thoughts, emotions, and experiences without trying to push them away or cling to them. When you practice mindfulness, you become more aware of your inner world and how it affects your outer world. You begin to notice patterns in your thinking, like how you might spiral into negative thoughts when things go wrong. With mindfulness, you can catch these thoughts before they take over, giving you the chance to respond to life's challenges with more clarity and calm. Take a moment to think about your daily life. How often do you find yourself reacting to situations without thinking? Maybe you get frustrated in traffic, or you feel anxious about an upcoming event. These reactions are automatic, but mindfulness helps you break the cycle. Instead of getting lost in frustration or anxiety, you can pause, take a breath, and choose how you want to respond. This simple shift can make a huge difference in how you experience difficult moments. Buddhism also emphasizes the importance of compassion, both for yourself and others. When life doesn't go your way, it's easy to be hard on yourself. You might think, "I'm not good enough," or "I should have done better." But self-compassion teaches you to treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer to a friend. Instead of beating yourself up for your mistakes, you can acknowledge that you're human and that it's okay to stumble sometimes. Compassion for others is equally important. When we're going through a tough time, it's easy to feel like we're the only ones struggling. But Buddhism reminds us that suffering is universal. Everyone faces challenges. When you recognize this, it can soften your heart and help you feel more connected to others. You realize you're not alone, and this can bring a sense of comfort and strength. Finally, Buddhist philosophy teaches us the power of acceptance. Sometimes, no matter how hard you try, things won't go the way you want. In these moments, acceptance is key. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or being passive. It means acknowledging the reality of the situation without resisting it. When you accept what is, you free yourself from the burden of constantly wishing things were different. Think about it like this. If you're caught in the rain without an umbrella, you have two choices. You can get upset, complain, and wish it weren't raining. Or you can accept that it's raining and either find shelter or simply enjoy the experience of getting wet. The rain won't stop just because you don't like it, but your experience of it can change depending on how you react. When you combine these Buddhist teachings, understanding suffering, embracing impermanence, practicing non-attachment, cultivating mindfulness, showing compassion, and accepting what is, you start to see life differently. Challenges become opportunities for growth. Instead of feeling trapped by your circumstances, you begin to navigate them with more ease and grace. Remember, life is not about avoiding the storm, but learning to dance in the rain. When things don't go your way, these lessons from Buddhist philosophy can be your guide, helping you find peace even in the midst of chaos. The journey may not always be easy, but with patience and practice, you can develop the inner strength to face whatever comes your way. Practical steps to resilience. You may have learned a lot on this journey so far. Buddhism offers deep insights into how we can understand suffering, impermanence, and the power of letting go. But now, let's focus on something very important. How do we apply all of these teachings in our daily lives when nothing seems to go right? How do we build resilience, the ability to bounce back when life knocks us down? Resilience is not something you're born with. It's something you develop. You don't need to be perfect or always calm to be resilient. You just need to be open to learning, to falling and getting back up. In this part, we'll go through some simple but powerful steps that can help you build this inner strength. No complicated theories, just practical things you can start doing right now. Step 1. Pause and breathe. The first step is the simplest, but it's also the most important. When everything feels overwhelming, take a moment to stop. Just pause. You might feel the urge to react right away, to get angry, sad, or frustrated. But before you do anything, take a deep breath. Feel the air going into your lungs, and then release it slowly. This simple action brings you into the present moment. Breathing is like an anchor. No matter how strong the storm is around you, your breath can keep you steady. You don't have to control anything right now. Just breathe. This one action can help you step back from your emotions and thoughts, giving you the space to respond calmly instead of reacting impulsively. Step 2. Accept what is. One of the key teachings in Buddhism is acceptance. When life doesn't go our way, we often resist reality. We wish things were different, and that makes us suffer even more. The more we resist, the more we feel trapped. But when we accept things as they are, without trying to fight them, we find peace. Acceptance doesn't mean you have to like what's happening. It simply means acknowledging reality. If you lost a job, ended a relationship, or faced disappointment, it's okay to feel sad or upset. But don't let those feelings trap you. Accept that this is part of life. Once you accept the situation, you free up your energy to focus on what you can do next. Step 3. Focus on what you can control. We often feel overwhelmed when we try to control things that are beyond our reach. But in life, there are many things we simply cannot control. The actions of others, the outcomes of events, or the twists and turns of fate. What we can control, however, is how we respond to these situations. So, when things go wrong, ask yourself, what can I do right now? It might be something as small as taking care of yourself, making a list of next steps, or simply choosing to shift your mindset. By focusing on what you can control, you reclaim your power. You stop feeling helpless and start feeling capable of moving forward, even in small ways. Step 4. Practice gratitude. When nothing seems to go your way, it's easy to feel like everything is falling apart. But even in the hardest times, there are things to be grateful for. Gratitude is a powerful practice that shifts your focus from what's missing to what's still good in your life. It doesn't mean ignoring your problems. It means balancing them with a sense of appreciation for the things that are still working. Start by thinking of 3 things you're grateful for, even if they seem small. Maybe it's a friend who listens to you, a meal you enjoyed, or even the simple fact that you're breathing. By practicing gratitude, you train your mind to see the good, even when life is tough. Step 5. Be kind to yourself. We are often our own worst critics. When things go wrong, we tend to blame ourselves. I should have done better, I'm not good enough, or I'll never get this right. These harsh judgments only make things worse. To build resilience, you need to learn to be kind to yourself. When you stumble or fail, treat yourself like you would treat a friend going through a hard time. Instead of criticizing yourself, offer words of comfort. Tell yourself, it's okay to struggle, or I'm doing the best I can. This self-compassion is not about making excuses. It's about giving yourself the kindness you deserve, especially when you're facing challenges. Step 6. Learn from your experience. Every setback carries a lesson. It's not always easy to see, especially when you're in the middle of the storm. But over time, you can start to reflect on what happened and what you can learn from it. This doesn't mean you have to find a silver lining in every difficulty. Sometimes, the lesson is simply that life is unpredictable, and you need to be flexible. Resilience is not about avoiding hardship. It's about using those hardships as stepping stones to grow stronger. Ask yourself, what did I learn from this experience? Maybe it's patience, maybe it's the ability to adapt, or maybe it's the strength to move on. Each experience, good or bad, adds to your wisdom. Step 7. Build a support system. You don't have to go through tough times alone. In Buddhism, Community is essential. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, whether it's family, friends, or a group that shares your values. When you're struggling, reach out to them. Sometimes, just having someone listen can make a big difference. Building resilience doesn't mean you have to be strong all by yourself. Leaning on others, asking for help, and offering support in return creates a strong foundation for you to rely on when things get tough. Step 8. Keep moving forward. One of the most important lessons in building resilience is to keep going, no matter how difficult things get. Life is a series of ups and downs, and there will always be challenges along the way. But with each step you take, you become stronger and more capable of handling whatever comes next. Even if progress seems slow or you feel stuck, remember that each small step counts. Sometimes resilience is simply about showing up, trying again, and refusing to give up. Over time, you'll realize that every challenge you've faced has prepared you for the next one. Step 9. Embrace impermanence. Lastly, remember the Buddhist teaching of impermanence. Everything in life is constantly changing. Your emotions, your situations, and even your hardships. No matter how difficult things seem right now, they won't last forever. This too shall pass. When you embrace impermanence, you understand that life's challenges are temporary. This doesn't mean you ignore them, but it helps you gain perspective. You begin to see that just as good times come and go, so do the tough times. Knowing this can give you the strength to face whatever life throws your way with grace and resilience. In summary, resilience is not about avoiding difficulties or being unaffected by them. It's about facing life's challenges with an open heart, using the tools of mindfulness, acceptance, self-compassion, and gratitude. By practicing these steps, you can build the inner strength needed to navigate life's ups and downs and find peace, even when nothing seems to go your way. Conclusion and reflection. Life is full of ups and downs. We've been on a journey together, exploring what happens when nothing goes your way. Throughout this process, you've learned about the teachings of Buddhism and how they can guide you when the world seems to work against you. But now, let's take a moment to reflect and draw all these ideas together. When life isn't going your way, it's easy to feel stuck, frustrated, and even defeated. But here's the thing. This feeling isn't permanent. It's just a moment in time. Think about the clouds passing through the sky. They come, they go. Some days are sunny, some days are stormy, but no storm lasts forever. The key is to remember that whatever challenge you are facing, it is temporary. Buddhism teaches us that suffering is a natural part of life. Everyone, no matter who they are or what they have, experiences pain, loss, and hardship. This is called dukkha, the truth of suffering. But why is this important? Because once you accept that suffering is part of life, it loses some of its power over you. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start realizing, this is part of the human experience. Now, you may be thinking, how do I handle this suffering when it shows up? This is where the idea of impermanence becomes crucial. Everything in life is constantly changing. Nothing stays the same, not your pain, not your happiness. This is called anicca, the Buddhist teaching of impermanence. When things are going badly, it's important to remind yourself that this too shall pass. It may take time, but just as the seasons change, your situation will change as well. You've likely had moments in your life when everything seemed bleak, but eventually, those moments faded. Maybe you can look back now and see that you grew from those tough times. You learned something valuable or gained strength you didn't know you had. This is the power of resilience, and it's something that lives within each of us. What Buddhism offers is not a way to avoid suffering, but a way to face it with grace. A way to move through it without letting it define you. Mindfulness is one of the most powerful tools you can use in moments of hardship. It's about staying present, not letting your mind wander to the past or worry about the future. When you focus on the present moment, you give yourself space to breathe and to calm your mind. When nothing goes your way, your thoughts can spiral. You start thinking about everything that's wrong, everything that could go wrong, and it becomes overwhelming. But by practicing mindfulness, you bring your attention back to the here and now. You might take a deep breath, feel the ground beneath your feet, and realize that in this very moment, you are okay. The storm of thoughts begins to settle, and you regain control over your mind. Buddhism also teaches us about the importance of letting go. When things aren't going your way, it's natural to try and fight against it, to cling to how you wish things were. But this resistance only creates more suffering. The more you try to control something that's out of your hands, the more frustrated you become. Instead, you can choose to let go. Let go of the need for things to be a certain way. Let go of the attachment to outcomes. This doesn't mean giving up or not caring. It means accepting that some things are beyond your control. By letting go, you free yourself from the burden of trying to control the uncontrollable. You allow yourself to move forward, even when the path is uncertain. One of the most beautiful aspects of Buddhism is its focus on compassion, both for yourself and others. When nothing seems to go your way, it's easy to be hard on yourself. You might think, "I'm not good enough," or "I'm failing." But this kind of self-criticism only adds to your suffering. Instead, try offering yourself the same kindness you would offer a friend who is struggling. Be gentle with yourself. Remind yourself that it's okay to have tough days. It's okay to feel sad, angry, or confused. By practicing self-compassion, you create a space within yourself where healing can begin. You stop fighting against your feelings and start accepting them as part of the process. And in doing so, you find peace. But compassion doesn't stop with yourself. Buddhism encourages us to extend compassion to others, especially when we are struggling. When nothing goes your way, it's easy to become self-focused, to think only about your own problems. But sometimes, helping others can help you too. When you extend kindness to someone else, you create a connection. You remind yourself that you are not alone in your struggles. This sense of community and support is vital. Even when life feels difficult, there are people around you who care. Whether it's friends, family, or even strangers, you are not walking this path alone. Reaching out for support or offering support to others can make a world of difference. So, when nothing goes your way, what can you do? First, remember that suffering is a part of life. It's not something to be feared or avoided, but something to be understood. Second, remind yourself that everything is temporary. This moment, this hardship, it will pass. Third, practice mindfulness. Stay present and don't let your mind get lost in worries about the future or regrets about the past. Fourth, let go of what you can't control. Accept the situation as it is and find peace in that acceptance. Fifth, offer yourself compassion. Be kind to yourself in moments of struggle. Finally, reach out for support and offer support to others. As we come to the end of this journey, I encourage you to take a moment and reflect. Think about the challenges you are facing right now. How can you apply these teachings to your own life? How can you find peace, even when nothing seems to go your way? Remember, life is a journey, and every step, even the difficult ones, is part of that journey. You are not defined by your hardships. You are defined by how you choose to respond to them. So, take a deep breath. You've got this. You have the strength within you to face whatever life throws your way. Trust in that strength, trust in the teachings you've learned, and trust that, in time, everything will come together. The journey may not always be easy, but it is yours to walk. And with these tools, you will walk it with grace, resilience, and wisdom.